friends, and welcome to another episode of Chai with Shy. Today I have on this platform with us Mayur Kalbag, an international motivational speaker and a leadership trainer. Hi Mayur.
Hello.
I am so happy and so proud to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting our tea.
But I must say thank you so much, Shai, honestly, for giving me this lovely platform to come and share my thoughts. And like you told me over the phone, sharing something real.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. Thank you so much once again.
Really, Mayur?
Yeah.
So you're ready to spill all the beans?
Absolutely. You can call it beans and the cucumbers and everything. Yeah. This is a great platform for me and I'm really waiting for this to begin. Yes.
Mayur, we want to know exactly, as a motivational speaker, how did you get there? How did you reach to this place? Were you always wanting to be like, how people have dreams right from a child? So is that your dream or you just felt that you could?
Yeah, I think it all started in a very interesting way because I was working as in sales and marketing as a sales executive and I was attending a seminar. And funny as it may sound, Shai, I was watching, it was something on negotiating skills and I was not listening to what he was saying, the trainer, I was watching him. And I was sort of thinking to myself, this guy is amazing in the way he was presenting and conducting the session. And I think that's where the seed was born, that I want to be like this trainer. Really? This was in 2001 sometime, that time. And then something else happened and I got to go to the Himalayas the same year. And I got a lot of time to introspect in terms of what I want to do. And this particular thing was in my mind that, training, the trainer. And I think that time, sitting on the banks of Manasarovar in the Himalayas, it sort of cemented my thoughts. It motivated me to really introspect. I came back, met a few trainers, did a small little training for my own engineers in the company where I was working. And then one thing led to the other and I got a chance to do a training for Tata Motors in 2001 itself. Okay. And I think in this kind of stuff, Shai, if you do good, people talk. If you do good, people talk. So I think I had done my homework and Tata Motors session was good. So one thing led to the other and here I am speaking to you. So the journey began with me watching somebody doing a training. Okay. And I got really inspired to be like that. And I sometimes talk to my friends, my younger friends, that it's always good to keep your eyes open. Correct. And if something catches your eye and something makes you more passionate, you need to follow it if you really are passionate about it. So I'm genuinely very passionate about training and that began with me sitting and watching that trainer. Yeah. So that's how the journey began. Yeah.
Yeah. So motivational speaker also means that you're counseling people.
True.
Here.
True.
So
true.
what do? You bring out a change in them. So basically you have to know how they were originally and then you bring that change.
Okay, let me say this. Apart from being understood as a motivational speaker, I'm also a leadership trainer and a coach. Yes. And I've always believed, and this is from my own experience, Shai, that training is a great catalyst towards helping a person become better. Correct. Okay, and I have benefited when I attended the training, not on that negotiating skills because there I was busy watching the trainer, but later on I started attending some conferences and trainings and I realized that, for example, presentation skills is something I learned through the training. So training works, okay, but it has to be delivered in the right way, with the right methodologies. There has to be a lot of accountability. The participant must be made to feel that he's learning something that can really help him or her to really grow. And that's what I've been doing since, it's been almost 19 years.
Want it.
You need to be able to create the hunger in the person to be wanting to want it. The hunger should be there. I think the trainer has to not look at it as just come, do your training, show some slides and walk away. It's about the passion to really want to make a change. And to be able to do that, the methodology, like I said before, it makes a difference, Shai. I've seen some trainings where I wanted to really sit more because it makes me fall asleep. Yeah. Because too much of visual aids, PowerPoint slides, and you keep watching and, next slide, and that's not the way I think training should be done. You need to engage the audience. So what I do sometimes, Shai, is I give charts, big charts, give them crayon packets, pencils, and I say, okay, you got a crocodile, you got an octopus, and somebody gets bees, and I say, extract 3 nice values from an octopus or from an alligator and connect it to your life.
So Mayur, I wanted to to know, at what age would you start training a child? Like, would it be right when you have a little kid, or do you have an age start and end?
Well, I think the kind of trainings we do, it depends upon the topics. So if you look at topics to do with communication skills, which is what I sort of train on, presenting skills and team building. So conflict management. So these are all sessions more or less to do with corporates. So if you ask me age, I think it could be anyone who's even joined in as a graduate trainee engineer or a graduate who's joined into an organization. Could be therefore an age which is 21, 22. We also do, I do sessions even for students. In fact, tomorrow I'm doing something for a management college in Mumbai. Yeah, it's more of a motivational talk about the transition from being a student towards being a professional. So it's very topical. So if I'm doing a team building, it'll be for all different ages, especially all different positions in the organization.
And when you have adults, okay, and they're very shy and they really cannot come, you actually think that you can really pull out that kind of...
Absolutely, because you're talking to somebody who's been pulled out of that, because fear resides in all of us. And I'm not making a philosophical statement for the heck of it, because really it does. We all have that fear. I do believe that, there's a beautiful proverb which says that the best way to fight fear is you face it. So at times, trainings, if they're done properly, where you give opportunities for participants to literally face audiences, and practice makes a person not just perfect. Actually, practice makes a person more confident and courageous. So if you give them the right tools to present, remember, one of the reasons why people get a little nervous and fearful is because sometimes they don't know exactly what to really do. It's like a student doesn't prepare himself for an exam. He gets nervous, right? So the fear comes for certain reasons. If you give them answers to those reasons, I think they become more confident.
I remember as, when I started singing, my first job was at the Taj at the Apollo Bar, and my knees would actually tremble because I had to be in front of an audience, and I really, as you said, you have to know your topic or your work before, and I was really, I was a bathroom singer.
Absolutely.
I was like a little child who came up on stage and had to learn how to sing. So that was my journey. So and the other day I was at the entire Bandra zonals, and I gave them a small little speech on what is it called, on feeling afraid to get on stage, that little butterfly that comes into your stomach, and the fear. So I just told them my example, that little bit that I don't mind that butterfly or that bang of anxiety, because that helps me to work a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Just push myself a little bit more.
I read something very interesting, and I want to share that with all our viewers and with you. It says that a ship at the shore will always be safe. A ship at the shore will always be safe.
But you don't want to be safe.
Exactly. But is that the true nature of the ship?
Correct.
So I've always felt that we all humans, our nature is not to be safe sitting in a corner. And it's not shy. It's not just about standing in front of an audience. That's just a metaphor. Actually, anything that you want to do, you need to, as one of our friends said, is to come out of the comfort zone. And you need to, it's okay if you're nervous at the first time. It could be a tennis player who's at a grand slam. For the first time, he will be nervous, but ask him after a few months or years, it's gone, but he's taken the jump into the ocean. So I always felt that we are those ships. We need to jump into the ocean with a clear destination in view, and with the, being open to the challenges of the waves which we will encounter. And this is the truth. So initial nervousness is part of life. Like you said, wo ho jata yaar. It's okay. A lot of people get scared of getting scared. You're like, I'm going to get nervous. I met one person who very confidently told me that he gets very nervous. So sometimes people have to be told that, Baba, you are confident. You're telling me very confidently that you get scared. So it's sometimes too much. They underestimate themselves. So as a trainer, I actually just talk to them and make them understand who they are. So
and you're a very talented human being. You have got you're a ball of so many talents. I would say, there's art and there's poetry and there's so much of culture in you.
Let me say this, Shai. I mean, firstly,
how did all this happen? I want to know.
No, I think that's a very beautiful question, because I've seen a lot of people who have and this is my own view, I may be wrong or right, they take up a particular thing in their life and that's all that they do. I just think that that makes life monotonous. I do have a lot of friends who are, for example, I have a friend who's a photographer, but who loves playing guitar.
Yeah.
I know an engineer who is excellent in calligraphy.
Yeah.
And I've felt that having diversity in life is amazing. That's the only reason why, having been in the profession of a motivational speaker or a trainer, I've always tried to do other things, because I've always believed there's one life as who I am, right? Because afterwards, I don't know whether I'm going to come back later. So as I'm leading this life, I tried. That's the motivation why I write. I've been writing poetry because I love to write poetry. It's not about, the world watching it or seeing it. It's for mine.
Can you read us something from your...
You really want me to bore you with a poem? Okay. Okay, I actually have a book that I've written with the blessings, and I want to share that with you, maybe, since you're asking me. This is the book that I've written. It's called The Rising Waterfall.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, because it's an oxymoron, the rising waterfall. But I do want to read a poem. It's called Captive. And let's see how it comes out. It goes like this. Had the wings, yet did not fly. Had the zest, yet never did try. An intense urge that lay in wait. Everything I did seemed always too late. Had the height, but seldom stood tall. Had strong feet, but scared I would fall. Vibrant visions, but never gathered the will. Desires kept moving, yet I sat still. Had the sight, but did not see. Had the boat, but never crossed the sea. Gifted I was to touch the distant sky, yet in a corner I lay, waiting for my diffidence to die. Born with courage, yet within me the fear. Confused I felt when all things were clear. Through high mountains as the rivers roam free, like them I so much wished to be. The urge to break the shackles, but the shackles were never there. Captive I thought I was, when freedom was everywhere. An intense yearning within me to reach the brilliant star, yet the shy rose in my hand seemed away and far. And then one day, into my life, he suddenly came. A new way he showed me, and life was never the same. My every moment I live and lead through his grace. Captive, not anymore. Imprisoned, not even by eternal space. So that's the poem that I wanted to read. Thank you so much.
You're very spiritual.
I believe it's, spirituality is something which is beyond, I look at God in the mountains, which is why I went to the Himalayas. I look God in Mother Nature. And for me, that which honestly, which genuinely uplifts my spirit is spirituality. So I'm motivated to, right? I love to paint, and I've been, doing that for a long time. I remember when I went to one of the galleries, I saw some abstract painting.
What do you do, water painting?
I do acrylic, I do a little bit of watercolor, but I love to do spray paint. So what I do is I take up a chart, which is a thick laminate chart, and then I spray white and on that black, and then red on it, 3 layers. And then I take a newspaper, I crumble it, and then I emboss it on the chart. Interestingly, I don't even know what's happening beneath, right? And it just happens. And then I manipulate in terms of putting pressure on the newspaper. When the newspaper crumpled is put, the pressure I put, I draw on the paper and that gets embossed. And the process is what I love. I actually paint a lot in my mind, because I think I paint in the sense I think what I need to do, and it takes me maybe a few hours to really think of what I want to do, because spray paint, it dries very quickly, right? So I can't take a lot of time like oil paint or acrylic. So the actual painting would take me maybe an hour and a half. And a lot of times what happens is when the painting is done at that point of time, it's never done. So I'll go back to it after a couple of weeks and I'll add something to it.
Nice.
So it's fun. And since I do this for my own enjoyment, to break the monotony of my life, I just don't think about what's going to be the feedback from him or her. But I've had shows.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah, but I've had shows, and
really?
I've had shows because some of the people have been keen to, have it to see it, but that's not been my intent. Yeah, and yeah, maybe some of them have really sort of shown interest in buying it too, but like I said, it's more about bringing diversity.
And
yeah,
you do pottery too.
Little bit.
How did that happen?
Actually, more than pottery, I do clay modeling. As a kid, I used to at my mama's place. वो तो गणपति लेके आते थे, तो मैं वो दुकान के पीछे जाके फिर I used to actually collect, pay him $10, the guy, and then he used to be happy. This is like in 1980s, yeah, when I was a kid, and I would get a blob of clay and I would make a small Ganpati, and with a couple of my cousins complaining to my mama that he's spoiling this and that, and I think that was just what in Marathi we call a kida, something inside, and it's still there. The kida is still active, So I still have a blob of clay that I've brought home in Pune.
You're an interesting character, I must say.
I'm a character. Interesting or not is for people to understand, but I definitely.
So what will you be doing with that blob?
I want to do something which is abstract. I want to do something where, like an alien, sort of a thing, with an earthly. I don't want to do a Ganpati Bappa because he's happy with. I don't want to do something that like that, but I want to do something different. So, the idea is to, experiment here.
Yeah, nice. So should we have a rapid fire? What do you think?
I am excited about it. I heard it's something which is very rapid.
Oh.
So fire on. So fire on. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
So Mayur, where would your next place be where you would just want to go and chill out someplace and
Frankly, I want to go to Northeast. I want to go to the Northeast. I'm really keen to go to Assam, to go to Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh. I think there's a lot to explore.
Really?
And I love nature, so I'm really keen on that. That's on my bucket list for this year. If not, maybe next year. But professionally speaking, I'm really looking forward to Fiji Islands and to Malaysia to explore.
You do a lot of work at Fiji Islands, right?
Yes, they've been pretty happy with my work.
Yeah.
And
it's a pretty island.
it's beautiful, but as I would say, it's also very, very focused on people development. So yeah.
And who was your first crush, Mayur?
Oh, that's the rapid fire? Yeah. I thought, all right.
We wanted a fast answer.
Well, first crush was the first crush, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So who was that?
You want me to get killed or something?
Maybe. Why? Was she like Underworld's
No, she probably at the moment would
girlfriend
be quite known. So
tell us.
Okay, my first crush was actually my school teacher.
Really? No, that's so well put.
No,
I
she
think
was.
Every boy has a school teacher.
So it's true. She was. I was in the 6th standard, and my uncle used to work for a company called J.L. Morrison's, and Nivea, the cream. I was so much in crush. I had so much of this crush on my teacher. I actually took this Nivea cream from my uncle, and I gave it to her, and she was quite and
so
it was sweet for me, but it was not so sweet in terms of when I gave it to her. She was quite surprised. A 6th standard boy giving her Nivea cream.
Sweet.
It was a men's Nivea cream for
What was the most embarrassing moment?
When I gave her the men's Nivea cream.
No way. Good answer, but no way. Tell us. Have an embarrassing.
No, I did. I think I remember one time when I was, when you conduct workshops, you have to be on your feet for a long time, and this was initially, right? And I had, because they would say that you need to drink a lot of water, hydration. So I had drunk a lot of water, and my bladder was full, and when you conduct a training, you can't take a break. You can't say, excuse me. So the embarrassing part was, I don't know if it's embarrassing, but painfully embarrassing was, I had to literally wait for the tea break to happen, which was an hour away. And so I was sweating because I was in pain. I don't know if you know, but I hope people can relate. I was holding on. So it was really embarrassing when I had to literally put on this pretense that I'm conducting a training when actually what I wanted to do was just go and take a leak.
Okay. Do you have a favorite writer?
I do. There's one writer that I am really motivated by. His name is Richard Bach, and there's a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and I always talk to people about it. I read that book from Borivali station to Dadar station. I finished the book because I was working at that point of time in Borivali somewhere. And the book is about this seagull whose name is Jonathan Livingston. And this guy has written it so beautifully, so lucid, very simple English and such a beautiful meaning. I say he's amazing because he influenced me to think in that direction. So yeah, Richard Bach, he's my.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any deadly sins?
Deadly sins. Well,
See,
sins.
you're
I
going to
don't.
spill it all here. So, if
I
you
love
want
my,
your...
I love my poison.
Okay.
I
And
love
what's
my
your
poison.
Okay.
Yeah, that which is chilled and that flows
Okay.
is what I love to have, and with good friends, I enjoy that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what another sin? I don't know if it's a sin, but I definitely like to shake a leg. Yeah,
Really?
of course I do.
That's a good one.
For me, like I said, it's one life. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I'm
So
in,
you do it all. So
I
you're a
try
package
to.
with everything.
Like I was listening to one of the old retro Bhangra songs in the car. I couldn't help myself dancing.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
So I think it's sin to be driving and dancing in the car. So that's a sin, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any bad habits?
Actually, I don't. Having a beer here and there is a bad habit. No, I don't think so.
No,
But
not at
no, maybe I'm not a good listener at times,
Because since you talk so much, that's why.
maybe that's an area that I need to work on. I've read something very interesting that we need to listen to understand, not to reply. So I think I'm working on that, to listen to Shy and understand and not just rapidly reply, though it's a rapid fire round.
That's nice. And where do you see yourself from now on? What's your roadmap?
Seriously speaking, I want to travel. I want to travel professionally speaking. Want to go to different countries, understand their organizational culture, something which I'm very passionate about, understanding people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I really, like I said earlier, I love nature. And one of the things I want to really do is capture moments in nature. Though I'm not a photographer, but I would love to capture moments. So I want to travel, fundamentally speaking. Like you asked me earlier where I want to go. So I want to travel the world, see new places, meet new people, and earn a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. Mayur, have you always had your journey as very smooth like this, or did you have like turmoils in your life which have made you, reach this place?
I would be lying if I say that everything has been smooth, because it wasn't. Interestingly, I was not really an A student, may not even be B student. Maybe my priorities as a student was very different, right? My father encouraged me into elocution. But having said that, the turmoil, education-wise, it wasn't a smooth affair. I would say even to shift from a career of just working in an organization to make a transition into something of your own, that too in 2001 was a very difficult thing for me. I think in these circumstances, it's somebody you look up to, who guides you, who mentors you, who gives you courage. That really made a difference to me. But yes, I have been through my academic turmoil at that point of time, even career-wise, and I think personally speaking, to be frank, it's been decent, because I'm too chilled out to take things over seriously. I'm not the one where if somebody bumps my car, I'm going to suddenly get all. I think I'll probably sit and understand what happened and take him to the police station and do things in the proper way. I prefer it that way. So I don't like to take stress. Neither do I want to give stress. So yes, of course, every day is an opportunity to fight a turmoil, or it's an opportunity, or it's a day where you can keep looking at everything and make it a turmoil thing. Yeah. So I think. Looking at
how you take it.
Yeah, I think it's important to see life in the way that will make you feel happy.
It's about how you recover,
yes.
from any calamity. It's how quickly you recover.
It's like the boxer who gets knocked down is fine, but if he gives up, he's gone. It's about how he tries to get back. Yeah. So I've had my knockdowns for sure. But I think it's important to stand up, and that's what I.
It's not the boxer and the fight; it's the fight and the boxer.
Wow! Yeah. Exactly. Wow! You said it.
You know who told me that? You.
I did.
So it's your sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Mayur, you kind of say that even through you're a motivational speaker and you're everything, and you think that right now also your life is good and you're all right. Or you feel that it's a bumpy ride, and I can.
I've always been hungry for.
As you're saying that, okay, you think positive, and you're taking life as the most positive way that you can.
So my kind of work is such, Shy, that it's interesting. It's a paradox, right? Because I'm in a field where I'm supposed to motivate, inspire people, make them feel happy about what they do, etc. But I'm not that kind of a joker in the circus who pretends. Who puts a mask. Yeah. I don't feel that's the right thing to do. So I'm very open about the fact that as I'm helping somebody to climb the mountain, I'm climbing the same mountain myself, and there will be slip-ups. There will be slip-ups. Like I said, professionally speaking, it's going to be tough. It's not easy. It's taken me almost 18 years to come here and have a word and a chai with Shy, right?
And that's
so that's superb.
Do you have a message for our viewers?
I do. I want to say to all of them that life is a journey, and it's one bucket of amazing opportunities, and you cannot afford to spend too much time in feeling stressed out, feeling down, because that's part of the game. I've not come across anybody genuinely who said that I've always been successful. It's always been a bumpy ride, but the ride is going on. So my message is that just go on, just go on, but keep your passion. Be the ship that doesn't feel happy to be at the shore. Take a dive and just go on. Keep using your paddles, and if you're on the boat, and I think you will reach your destination. If you don't, find another destination. But like I said, one life, make the most of it. That's the message, definitely. And do paint, do write, do sing, shake a leg.
You do so much.
I just don't, my biggest enemy is boredom and monotony. It's my biggest enemy, the combination of both. So the moment I get bored, and I'm very, very impatient, which is why I'm not good in listening, right? So for me, doing all these things is not to tell the world I do it. It's about me feeling happy. In fact, when I paint and when I'm doing all that stuff, it helps me to be more creative at my work. If I'm painting, I sometimes get ideas about how I can do a new methodology in my training seminar. So this time I'm going to be using archery, for example. And that's what my message is, that don't get stuck to just one thing. Yeah, I mean, that could be the main thing. Like they say, in today's world, you must not use yesterday's methods to be in tomorrow's business. So use different things, be innovative, and be a master of one, but a jack of a lot.
Nice. Thank you, Mayur, for coming on this platform with ChaiWithShy. We are sure that our viewers must have loved your chat, and blessings to you. Thank you, viewers, for watching us once again on ChaiWithShy. We hope to see you soon for many, many more ones. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.